is a new monthly Makerss box, needle felting box from the Makerss. And today's kit, which I have right here, is going to be our Panda Cub. Yep, you can just about see that. So I'm looking forward to this. This should be a bunch of fun. So I want hands up in the chat if you've got this box, if you're waiting on this box, if you're looking forward to doing this. Not sponsored or anything. I buy these kits with my own monies. And there'll be a link to sign up for the monthly Makerss kit in the description of this live stream. But yeah, let's, without further ado, because I like opening the new boxes, let us dive in and have a look at what this kit is. I don't have an echo. Everything's working. Give us a thumbs up if the stream's working just now. I'm going to wait until I get my first comment to know everything's running before I open the box, because YouTube does that sometimes, and I'm talking to myself for 20 minutes before I realize. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you've all had an awesome crafty week. Yeah, mine's been pretty cool. Been working hard on YouTube because Eatsy's been interesting. But in other news, I've also been working hard in my Etsy shop, and it's totally paying off. The sales are rolling in, so yeah, I don't have time to do anything, really. Heather's in the house. Heather got your box on Friday. Awesome. I think mine came around about Friday. I'm trying to remember now. But yeah, it's not long. Okay. The stream is working. I can dive in. Okay, so as ever, the lovely box with all the great branding. You always know you've got a Makerss box. A free tutorial overlay for a curly hedgehog. I love making hedgehogs. They're so much fun. And yep, so the Makerss box is the Panda, as we know. And then if you don't know, the Makerss also do a surprise box and a fairy box. Oh, loving a mist fairies. How cute. But yeah, and then there's loads of stuff on that newsletter. There's our perfect, however rustly red tissue paper that I always love. Cuteness overload on the red panda. Love it. And next month's going to be a puppy. October's going to be a baby gorilla. Oh, and November's a snowy owl. Awesome. Yep, that's my subscription link. Here is my instructiones. Oh, and we've got a lot of materials. Bags stuffed full. Our little sample. Oh, how can you guys see that? It looked just green, and then you look, it is the green rainbow drops. We had some of these, I think you can just about see, we had some of these in the Christmas advent calendar last year, which are really cool to make, kind of like galaxy, like they're little planets floating through it. They are so cool. We've got eyes, which will go, well, we might finish today. They'll go at the side. And a little bit of wire. And, oh, this is rustly. Right. This is done with the box for now. This is an interesting wire. It's a twisted, I'm going to guess a steel. You can't see. Can you see? Yeah, you can just about see. Oh, camera's been really good. Yeah, it's a kind of twisted wire. I've not seen this one. This is cool. I just bought a load of wire off the Makerss. Oh, now my camera's misbehaving. Focus down here. Focus. Yeah, magic of technology. It'll come back if I give it stuff to focus. There we go. Loving this. So there'll be some core. There's some fuzzy black, some white, regular black, and some green for him to lie on. Doesn't smell it. That's because the good stuff, the stinky stuff, so it's not stinky, but it just smells a little bit. The stinky stuff is at the bottom. But yeah, that is really stuffed full this month. They always are, but really stuffed full. I'm just going to check the chat, and then we'll dive into how to do this. Now, I'm wondering, do I have my pliers up here? Yes. I'm wondering about doing this kit half size, because I do like making little things. What size does it come at? 22 centimeters long, so it will be like like fairly big. So how do you feel about me making a 10 centimeter long panda cub? Let me know in the chat and we'll think about doing that. But I'll just check where we're at with the chat before we get started. So Diana, hello there. Sharon, hey. Leona, hi there, got here in time for the second week in a row. I know, how about that? Charlene, how much do these kits cost? I think they're around the 20 quid mark. I can't remember because it automatically comes out of my bank, but I'm pretty sure. Diana says the new wire is fantastic. Yeah, I'm liking it. It's very flexible, but strong enough for certainly help you. I don't think you would want to use it like for a horse sculpture that has to stand on its very thin legs, but it's much nice. You've seen me whinging about hard to bend wire. I don't like that. Serena, hello there. And Carol, hey Pam and the Crafty Clan. Rose, hi there. Carol, hopefully I'll have my panda cub next week, and yes to the smaller. Cool, we've got a one vote. That's all it needs. But let's have a look at what we've got. Yep, wool bats, as I said, the lanolin rich core wool, which is really good with the lanolin. Not only is it good for your hands, but it does help it felt. And they're the Makerss are the only ones I see really doing this. 20 grams of stone sheep lamb in natural black, so that's the kind of more fuzzy stuff. 12 grams of white natural Cape Merino, that's the lovely white stuff, and the black 6 grams of black dyed Cape Merino. We get the eyes, 1 12 centimeter green wire stem, and 2 45 centimeter flexible steel wires. Yeah, definitely liking these. And what we need, needle felting things and lots of other things. Right, so let's see how I need to sort out my fiber. Well, if I was doing a half-sized one, I would have to quarter this, but I'm going to half everything because that's just kind of easier to go. And then see how we go. Well, no, I'll do a third of everything, and because I always use more than I'm supposed to. So, oh yeah, that smells rather sheepy. So we'll go with about a third, but then half the wires, and we'll see how that works. And there'll be extra for me to pull out if I need to. Sound like a plan? And yeah, we'll deal with that later. Okay, so take half of your lanolin rich core wool, flatten it into a sheet about 7.5 centimeters wide, and roll it into a sausage by winding it in from one end. Cool. Felt it down. Put the body to one side for now. There, that was easy. And that, okay, it's not felted, but it really does stick together and do stuff nicely. Okay, for the head, now, this is twice the length it needs to be. Yeah, let's see if we can cut it. And this is going to be very tiny, but still. That's about half. Oh man, that is tough to cut. Oh, goodness me. We might not be cutting this. No idea where the other end went, but I've got half. Okay, so we're aiming for a round head. We do have a head template, so I'm aiming for about, yeah, we're aiming for a round thing. I put that wire, there it is. Okay, little round head on the end of this. It does suggest using glue, but I don't have anywhere up here. So Rose started your panda already. It's quite big. Yeah, mine's not going to be. Serena started yours today. Loving the new wire. I agree. Diana, watched my video about the Star Seller score and I marked some of my messages spam and now my score is 100%. Yay! Oh, well done. That's, well, glad I could help there for sure. That'll be a relief. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of the Star Seller thing, but if we can do simple changes that don't affect anything, then that's cool. Yeah. Continue until the ball is 6 centimeters in diameter, which would be 3, which we're nearly there. Yay! This is cute. And then we're making a snout next. I can see this stuff is super, like, felting down really nice and firmly. So I can see if you don't want to do a very firm felted critter, this core would really work super quickly. And lanolin is supposed to be good for your hands, but of course some people can't deal with lanolin. So well, if you can't, you probably couldn't be felting with wool anyway, but you definitely wouldn't want this stuff. But okay, take a pinch of core wool for the snout and keep it flat so as it covers half your hand. So less, that looks like less than what they've got. I do want not too big a snout. Let's take a bit less. You can always add. You can always take away too. I've got scissors. Fold it in half, and then roll tightly and felt so it stays in place. And felt down into the snout. This is a good piece of advice they're giving. When you've rolled it, if you felt this way, you contract it. You contract it in the direction you're stabbing, so that would contract it that way. But if you felt into the nose, that starts to squish it down the way. So you can you really can sculpt your sculptures with how you use the needle. So always bear that in mind. If something's sticking out too much, felt down in it. If something's too fat, felt the sides. If it's too long, felt the end. Hopefully that all makes sense. Just skipping ahead to see where, okay, so the head's like that and the snout, which even though I said I'm not going to make it too big, is very big for me. But anyway. So the snout, the head template. So if you're making it the right size, but anyway, okay, so the snoot goes about there. So the templates are super helpful to give you an idea, and if you're following their sizes, then it has to fit into their sizes. I'm misbehaving, of course, and I'm on the wrong page. There we go. Actually, it's not looking too dissimilar. It is saying if you've got any joins or it's not looking smooth, then you can blend it out with little bits of core wool again. I'm just going to felt this till it's a little bit more firmly. But yeah, I'm intrigued as to how quickly this could come together if I really went for it. A small, because pandas, right, here's famous last words, but it's hard to mess up a panda because they're just adorable. Like black and white, a chunky fat thing with some ears, and you've got a panda. So hopefully that works here. Let's try and make something cute. But yeah, I'll keep on felting that as we go. Jiggle the wire into the front of the body shape. Jiggle, jiggle, jiggle. And I'll just work on felting everything smooth as I go along. And yeah, that's pretty much what it's saying. Add core, add more core to make it nice and smooth. So everyone who started this, how far along have you got when you say you've just started? Okay, I'm going with a small size. I get a feeling this would be something that I could probably make in an evening. Although I do really like the idea of doing like 4 smaller ones instead of one giant one. I think that suits me. And I'm I'm making him a bit more chunky. I want him fatter. I like fat. I think baby pandas should be fat, so we're giving him a bit more of a round shape. Ooh. I mean, I think looking at the template, it's not really too big. It's just I like to make small sculptures, and that's this. Take your inspiration from these tutorials. I think most of you have been felting for long enough now that you kind of know what you're doing, so you can add tweaks to them to make them your own. There's definitely no harm in every now and again going out your comfort zone. So if you only ever felt big, try felt them small. If you only felt small, try felt them big. Totally play around, experiment with different things, because these are fun for sort of your learning experience rather than serious things for a client or whatever. These are just fun projects to help you learn. So definitely work on different skills that you wouldn't have tried. That's the point of them, I think. Use a wad of core wool to bulk out the rear end. I like the sound of that. Let's put some junk in the trunk, darling. Yeah. I mean, mine is definitely fatter than theirs, but we did just say that was the point. So yeah. And yeah, use the template, but note your two sections will have shrunk down as you combine them into one shape. Yeah, absolutely. You've made the big body and everything, but as you're felting all round it, everything gets a little more compact. It depends when you're doing these things how tightly you wrap the initial wrapping as to how much littler it'll get. I find with some fibers, this is a really weird thing that no one mentioned to me when I started, but with some fibers, when I wrap them really tightly into a ball and then I felt the ball, when it's firmly enough felted, it's actually bigger than what the wrap was, but that's not usual. Excuse me. Oh, don't you just hate it when you think you're going to sneeze and then the sneeze goes away? I thought I was going to be stuck with a sneeze for like an entire live stream. Yeah, what was I saying? Totally can't remember. But yeah, this is all core. I'm assuming we'll use the white because look, if you can see the difference between core and proper bleach stuff, does it just looks a little dirty? This is beautiful. Oh, so soft as well. Oh, that is gorgeous. That is very nice. So it's good to use that. I mean, I generally, if you're working on small sculptures, if you're going kind of this size, although the core is super nice, but I would just build the whole thing out of this. The difference in price when you're going little is not much. If you're building something big, then this core wool is ideal. It's really nice. I mean, I work with a very fine needle, and every stab is doing work. It's really nice. The fibers really want to stick to each other. So it is a really good core. A million times better. People use all sorts of like teddy bear stuffing materials and things, and it seems to work for them. But personally, I found it hideous. It doesn't felt any fat. It felt much slower for me. And it actually, although it feels cheaper because you get a big bag for like not much money, but that big bag doesn't have much weight. It's full of air. So actually, I've not found all the what people talk of as cheap core material as particularly cheap. The only things I could think of was, like if you're going to throw out an old duvet or old jumpers or something, then totally cut up things like that would be free and recycle them as a core. But yep. Eva's in the house. Hello there. And CJ, good morning to everyone. Hello there. Good to see you guys. thank you all for stopping in, spending a bit of your Sunday with me as I attempt to make. Let's see if today's critter can manage to not look rude at any point along this sculpture, because what did we have? The elephant and the pig certainly looked. They definitely had interesting. They had difficult teenage phases. They finished up good. If you missed that the past couple of times, we've felted an elephant, mama and baby elephant, and we felted some pigs. They were great fun, but yeah, they had awkward phases. There ain't no denying that. I don't want to go too firmly with this because I have a feeling we're going to have to physically stick legs and stuff into it. It's always, for everybody who's not me doing these things, it's a good idea to read through your instructions first so you know what you're being asked to do, and don't just dive in like me and just go, let's break the rules, do it the totally wrong size, and not have a clue what's coming up next. Okay, take one of the flexible. Hey, this is cool because this means I'm going to have a flexible steel wire to spare as well. So let's see how cuttable they are. My little incredibly girly plier. I have proper butch pliers down the stairs, but for some reason this was like, yeah, it was a bead kit. So they give you all these girly pliers because apparently you need pink sparkles. It's kind of cute though. I didn't say that. Right. So we need the Stone Sheep's Natural Black. So that's the one you can see there's like flecks of different colors in it. It's not as opposed to the dyed black, which is like midnight. This is natural. You take one and begin wrapping the end with the black. Let's find out how much black. Oh, wrap the entire length. Totally can do. Oh, I see what we're doing. That is cute. Yeah, so it's going to, because pandas have a sort of black bit coming over their shoulders, so we're totally going to wrap this so the arms go right the way around. Cool. Yeah, that's cute. Interesting. I would have thought with the twist on this, it would be easier for the wool to grip, and it really actually isn't. But it's not a hardship. But it was just I was wrapping there, and it was just kind of wheel spinning, which was interesting. That's not enough of anything. This is a really nice coarse black. I can't remember what breed it was or anything, but this is a nice coarse black. I really like the soft ones, but sometimes it can be hard to felt with a soft fiber. But this is, yeah, this would work for quite a lot of things. Right, and then in the trademark Maker's way to make these things easier, they want us to bend over about 7 centimeters if you're doing the right size. I'm not, so bend over a bit so everything's held in place. There we go. And we're aiming for a thickness of about 1 centimeter, but I'll probably be a bit thicker than that. As we said, chunky. It's a chunky baby. Wrap over what we've just done with a bit more black. So he's got little fists. And yeah, I'm just, because I'm not very neat at wrapping, not at all. So I'm doing sort of an extra wrap on top just to, as you can see, my normal wrap, my neat wrap. So if you just go over with a little bit of tight, that tames the fibers a little bit, holds them in place, and then felt them down. And I'll just do this because all of the arms are going to be on display because they're going around the back. Melanie, hello there. Hey, all you lovely felters. Love watching you. Thank you so much. Always learn a ton and find you a breath of fresh Scottish air. Oh, thank you. And you can't wait for your box. Oh, awesome. Yes, it looks like it's going to be a fun one, not too tricky, because I'm waiting to be proved wrong by myself, but I don't think you can make an ugly panda baby. They tend to be fairly good. Wow, I don't know if you guys can see, I can't get the camera down any closer, but there's a ton of fibers. I am going to have to get myself a tiny little craft table vacuum for this, because I don't think it's good for my room or anything, for my cleaning to just be fibers gone. A little table vacuum would be perfect, I think, for felting. In fact, I thought I did. I have my 3-needle tool, so that'll just speed things along. I should have done that like 20 minutes ago, shouldn't I? Yeah. But yeah, just quickly wrap this over. I'm intrigued actually to see what size this panda's going to come out at, because I've halved the wires, and I'm sort of trying to half the size, but it might not. Things that I do don't tend to come out exactly as they should. I had a trouble I'm managing a bit better now, but even so, often when I make something, it ends up bigger than I intended it to. But I used to, like, I would have a customer order 3 different, three. They had 3 dogs. They would order 3 dogs, and like the first one would be this big, the second one, then the third one. So using an armature definitely helps keep them a little bit in control, but I still managed to make them really big. Okay, I'm going to focus more on the paws just now, because the bit at the back, I want it kind of fluffy, so I'll be able to work it into the back, because that's a super good idea. Yeah, so this is supposed to be, well, it says one says, yeah, I'm slightly fatter arms, but that's cool. And then when we attach the front legs, they wrap the whole length around the shoulder of the bear, not up at the neck, but just slightly down where his shoulders would be, of course. Yes, good tip there from the makers as well. When we're felting this on to the body, there will be a little bit of wire. Just his neck is a little bit of wire. I'm not exactly sure if using that wire there for the head and neck helped. For me, I certainly wouldn't have done that. But guys, let me know if you find a difference doing that. That's something I've seen in a couple of the Makerss kits. Like, we don't have an armature in there, but there's a bit of wire sort of about there. I don't know. It's new for me. I like all the different new styles. Yeah. Oh, cool. And I'm looking at the back legs. We're going to wrap them in white and bend them, and then put a little bit of black for the legs. But the center of the cream will stay white. I think I see what they're doing. See, look at me reading ahead and everything. Okay. I always do anyway when I'm felting things. I don't finish everything at every stage. This isn't firmly felted, but I'll stick it on, and then as I'm going, I'll still be felting the body, I'll still be felting the head and everything. You're a cute little guy. And I'll flatten out his paws and everything. Still use the 3-needle tool. I am so intrigued as to how this is going to turn out. I think it's going to be good. I know it's going to be good. His arms look a little long because some of the fiber sticking out over the ends of the wire. But I'm also, because he's fat, I'm not trying to squeeze that too much. I don't want his arms too short, so I'm making him a little bit chunkier. Serena, thank you. Cool. You find the little bit of wire stops the head slipping out of place while you're felting it to the body. Awesome. Yeah, of course. It's good. It's good to know how people find these things. you know, fight, you know, what they how they help for other people. It's not something I've really had a problem with, but I suppose I'm not thinking that most people will felt on a felting mat as well. Like I'll do a lot of felting just holding it in place so there's no wobbling around. But of course, if you're using a felting mat, then it's a whole different kettle of fish than how I do it. Right, I'm just thinking to sort of felt round to about where his shoulders would be, so his arms are attached right up until they kind of grow out of his body. It's interesting we've not used any of the pure white yet. I wonder when we're going to start. I assume we will be starting to cover him in pure white and blend all of this in. Sharon, Charlene, it's looking a bit like a penguin at the moment. Well, black and white around fat body, absolutely. Yep, penguins are another one that it is super easy to felt. I was laughing yesterday when I was talking about it. Actually, I just got a warning from YouTube saying that they had age restricted one of my videos. It isn't suitable for all advertisers. It isn't suitable for children. So, in fact, I think that means if you try and watch it, it'll make you have to prove your age or something, I think. But the video that they have age restricted, it's an adult video. It is how to needle felt a penguin. Like, seriously, penguin. What is so racy about a penguin that I didn't know about? Okay, anyway, the arms are in. There's a whole lot of work to go to make that look penguiny. But I read ahead and we're going to use some of our core wool and wrap the whole of this really quite thin actually. They're saying a thickness of 1 centimetre, so that's half a centimetre. And actually, they are saying to bend the wires anyway. So if you're having trouble getting this stuff to grip at all, then you could just go around a bit and bend it over already, and then that will just give you something to pull against. But actually, this white is sticking really quite nicely to it. So there we go. And I'm trying to make it nice and I was gonna say nice and smooth, and it's totally not ending up being smooth. Serena, you felt in your hand too, and with small sizes, I don't find. Yeah, of course, with bigger sizes, it'll be totally different. I find bigger felts much more difficult in so many ways. I probably shouldn't have chickened out and done this at full size, but yeah, I find proportions so much harder. So yeah, if I am doing something big, I tend to do entire armature rather than just little bits of armature. But I can see, yeah, if it's super big, it could help it stay in the one place. Yes. Sharon, maybe penguin is a secret word for something erotic. No, don't. Nobody Google that. I can't even say what I'm thinking in my head. But yes, nobody Google that because I have no idea. But if you can think it could be slightly erotic in some way, it probably is. The internet is full of perverts. Okay, so that's the leg wire wrapped down, and then I have to build up the legs to about 1 centimetre. Cover about 3 centimetres, 3.5 centimetres. So I want to cover to about there and cover to about there. That's quite short. We might go a little bit longer. Let's ignore the instructions totally. Oh, Sharon, your needle felters could do with a pair of electrician's wire cutters for those stainless steel wires. Ooh, interesting. I might have to look into that. But yes, some really good wire cutters would be good. So many women design tools are rubbish. It's like, make it pink and sparkly. Oh no, don't worry about quality. No, never mind the quality. It's pink, and we can charge twice the price. So yes, decent electricians, wire cutters. I never thought of that, but of course they need to have good wire cutters. Who knows? Maybe there'll be a company come out that will have quality and pretty, but I don't think we need gendered wire cutters, really. I might be wrong. Wow, this stuff drops a whole lot of fluff. It is lovely, but it is shedding. Oh, I love this. We're adding more bum. We're adding more booty to my little guy. Okay, let's do this. I can make things look smooth and pretty later. I want to. Oh, you have got some chunk about you, wee guy, haven't you? You are a bit tubby. But it feels more panda already. So I felt it in place a bit, and then we're gonna add some more bum to the guy. Yes. Position the hind legs. Make sure you've felt the wire to the rear as possible. Slightly forward facing angle. A thin bum of cotton. This also covers the wire, but I like the idea of giving it, because panda babies do have a bit of a bum. Well, panda adults do as well. They're not ashamed to be a little bit fluffy, a little bit curvy. And I just want to slightly, it doesn't tell me in the instructions, but who am I to follow? I'm just going to build up the back ever so slightly so it matches the arm hump. That's a little bit annoying me that I went quite so big there. Serena, your other half bought you a proper toolkit from Amazon that are the same quality as his, but are pink. You got a pink hammer. Okay, so the quality stuff is starting to be the pink hammer. Brilliant. Charlene, complete ladies tool bag you bought from Woolworths years ago. From Woolies. That's aging us all when we remember Woolies. Everything is pink. But good, your hubby and son are always bothering it. Oh, that's mean, giving me tongue twisters to say live on air. Peter Panda the pie eater. Yay. Go me. I'm not going to, but I would be tempted to make his legs a whole bit more fatter. Is more fatter the good term? But at the minute, I'm just building up that booty. She's a chunker. Well, it's because now we've decided this is Peter Panda. So it's a wee boy. But not anatomically correct, says she, felting in that general direction. So that's cool. Adding the bum not only blends in the back of the leg wire, but it also has the legs sticking out at hips like they should be. So that's a cool wee trick. That's not how I do it. So I've learnt something different, which is nice. So I'm trying to read ahead. I can't read and talk at the same time. So building up the legs, wrap more. Oh, I just said I wanted wrap more wool around each of the front legs to make them larger. There should be, I think, yeah, they're kind of a bit bigger than they should be already. Um, for the hind legs, build up a little. I'm definitely doing more hind leg puffiness. I always think of pandas having quite dumpy, quite chunky back legs. So that's what we'll do. Bet better. It's still, I lied about it not looking weird. It's looking weird. But we'll sort it out. I have faith. Whew, it's getting warm here. When I came up to do this live stream, it was bucketing down, like literally biblical rain, but I think the sun's probably come out. CJ, we totally need a pink tool. Since I got mine, my husband never touched it. Haha, good thinking. Yeah, your hubby won't nick your tools, so nothing disappears. Good thing. Okay, right, there is a good idea for gendered products, so that yours get left alone. You should just like every time we should have a magic way of setting up our craft boxes and stuff so they glitter bomb if people don't open them up in the correct way. Then you would have to tidy up all the glitter. But it would be funny. It's like, don't you dare enter my craft box, it'll glitter you. Serena, Miss Woolworths, remember going there with your dad every Friday after school to spend my pocket money. They'd eat the whole pick. I was going to say it's going to be pick and mix. Absolutely. Woolworths pick and mix was legendary. I think at the time it was the only place that did pick and. Do other countries that aren't the UK do pick and mix? Is it just is it just us? But anyway, but you'd eat the whole pick and mix on the way home, and your mum hated it as you didn't eat your dinner. That's hilarious. But yes, Woolworths pick and mix was. I can even tell you in the town I grew up in, I can remember you'd go in from the front, Woolworths at the front, and then it went all the way through and out on the left. And just before you went out, that was where the pick and mix was. I remember that. um, oh, Serena, it's not stopped raining with you since 7 a.m. Oh, yuck. Thankfully, I managed. It looked ominous, but I did manage to get out for a walk. Sharon loved Woolies. I know it is kind of sad for everyone not in the UK. Woolworths was a shop in the UK that everyone went for everything, like way before Amazon or whatever else. But you went to Woolies. Like I'm pretty sure when I was going away to uni, my plates were all bought from Woolworths. I still have some of them. I think there was clothes, but there was Woolies had a bit of everything, and even just saying it, I remember there's the old war song. Well, is it war song or a guide song? We always sung it at guides. For shine up your buttons with Brasso. It's only a halfpenny a tin. You can buy it or nick it from Woolies, but I don't think they've got any in. Not going to sing because I'll get copyright claimed. But yeah, Woolworths was sort of a tradition, a legend. um, Sharon, your son and husband aren't in the least put off by the pinkness of my toes. You have a family who's comfortable in their masculinity and can work with little pink hammers. I think definitely how I've made baby Panda. I think his head's a little bit little, but I see that we are building up the head a little bit in a little while, so that's good to me. And I know this is supposed to be a lying down panda, but my pandas always seem to sit up. It just seems to want. We'll see what happens. I don't. Yeah. He's not going to be finished today, so we'll see where we get to, and we'll see what we decide to do. Next week will be the trying to make him not look like a strangely bizarre blob. I'm sure, like, I'll even demonstrate it just now, but probably look ridiculous. But I'm sure once we get some of the markings on, those are far too big to be ears, but you get the idea. Once we get some of the markings on, he will really start to look a bit cuter. But yeah, definitely, I think the head's a bit too little. CJ, your hubby's old school. Lucky for me. Well, lucky for your toes anyway. If they're challenged by using pink equipment, then so be it. But pink used to be for little boys anyway. It wasn't a girl's color until quite recently. That's strange. But I think yes, blue was considered a girly color, and pink a boy color. Why can we say girly but not boy? Okay, random. Serena, my other half won't touch the tools, as I know then I'll step in the garage looking for them. Oh, man cave. And I mess all this stuff up. Apparently, I just walk in there and a bomb goes off. Or you notice that a bomb's already gone off. Everything, he'll know where everything is. It's all in ordered chaos. But when you go in, you notice what a mess it is. Yeah. Sharon, are we allowed to discuss masculinity? Are you having a wee moment there, Sharon? Chris Hoyes is your guilty pleasure there, is he? Yeah, you can discuss masculinity all you want. Um, I I know the name Chris Hoyes, but his face doesn't spring to mind just now, so you're safe from any level of drooling. Um, and unfortunately, I will say Scotland is not full of um, prime Scottish beef. We have a good mix of normal people. That's perfectly fine. But hey, if the tourists want to come along because they're hoping they see kilted hunks, then who am I to stop you? Just trying to smooth everything out. I think, yeah, it's only about 10 minutes to go. I think we'll just work here on getting the shaping of the body right, or a little bit firmer, and then we'll be able to do all the details next week. I definitely think building that up into the back a little bit has helped. I might even put some more in so it doesn't have a random hump sticking out. They're probably going to come to this and tell us to do that anyway, or I made the black bit way too big and it stands out more than it should. But yeah, building that up has helped immensely. I think there'll need to be some built up in the back as well, but that'll probably happen. In fact, I'll make it happen. We're making the body look like how I want the body to look just now. So we'll just build up a little there. So it's not a random stripe sticking out. I know that's my fault for making that like twice as thick as it was supposed to be. But let's blend it all into the body a bit more. And I'm just thinking with the green, we're just supposed to make like a little pillow of goodness to rest it on the ground. I wonder if we could felt bamboo, if that would look good. Chris Hoy's a cyclist. Yes, I knew I recognised the name. Yes, we do have some good cyclists. It's pretty cool. I was looking at taking my bike out today, and then it started raining, so no. Oh, he's commentating on the Olympics just now. I thought you'd know of him. I do know the cyclist. I just couldn't. In my head, I was going like, "Is that a cyclist or a swimmer?" I couldn't remember. But yeah, okay, I do. I can't picture his face, but I know him. I don't really watch these things. I more just kind of listen to them. So yeah, how's everyone's Olympics going? How are the results for today? Everyone keep me updated how the Olympics are going. I actually have just been talking to friends and stuff about the disgracefulness of the pentathlon. I don't know if anyone saw that, but I'd heard years ago, but I didn't realize that in the pentathlon, which is five. Yeah, 5 events. One of the events is show jumping. And I had heard, but I didn't remember that the horses were loaned. But yeah, the woman that was going in first place, she and her horse didn't get on right, and it was a disgraceful display. Sadly, even if you're going for gold at the Olympics, if you're doing that with an animal and the animal isn't happy, you just have to say, this didn't work. Whoops. So yeah. Sharon, Peter the porky pie eating panda is looking like the pictures and the instructions. Oh well, that's good. I'm glad I'm getting I'm getting there at least. Just trying to firm him up and smooth him off. When you're at this kind of stage, you can see like dimples all over. They'll sort out. I think we'll be putting top coat on them. But if there's anything particularly ugly looking, then you can just take. He's got a belly button. I'm tempted to leave that, but I won't. You can just take like a pinch of fiber and just build up over that to make it a little bit smoother. I should have kept the belly button if we're honest. Oh, Sharon, it's finished. The Olympics is finished now. Oh, I didn't realise today it ended. Oh, cool. Well, that's good to know. I guess I'll go and have a look at the results. Someone said the other day, and it's so true, but I hadn't thought of it. Just the whole thing. We don't talk about even like Chris Hoy. You say he's got a number of medals or whatever, but when he wins, when he's in cycling, he's won for Britain. It's like, okay, I know how it is, but really, they've won for themselves. So I'm just laughing. I've seen Sharon's next comment. He's got a bit of cellulite from being a wee bit chubby. He definitely does look a bit cellulitey. That is another reason with the core wool why you want to cover it with top dressing with better stuff, because the core it is really hard to get the core to a presentable smooth finish. It does look a bit cellulitey from your stabbing, but it makes a really nice structure, really nice base for everything else you're going to do. But yeah, I want to make sure he's nice and firm and his legs and arms are going to stay put. And I'm always tempted. When I think of a panda, I think of a teddy bear. So I always think of making the bottom of the feet flat rather than feet. Hoy, not hoys. Thank you. Thank you, Sharon. But yeah, he won all them golds. I mean, it's cool. He was born on the same lump of rock as us, but he won all those medals, and everyone else has won the medals, and they've done good for themselves. Be proud of themselves. It's nice to cheer on people that have a faint connection to you, I guess, but I don't feel I should take any pride in them because I didn't do anything to help them. They did it themselves. I can feel pleased for them. I think that's the way to put it. I think the body and legs I'm getting a lot more happy with, but definitely the head needs a bit of work on. And I just, for those of you that haven't seen it yet, the Makerss Panda is, I'm definitely going to have to fatten up the face a lot, but it's definitely a lot less chunky than mine's a shameful panda that's been at all of the bamboo, and the poor Makerss Panda didn't get a bite in. But yeah, I felt like chunking him up a bit. I'm definitely going to make the face a good deal bigger. I mean, something with this much body would have a lot more face, but that is for next week. I might even look out some pictures of baby pandas so I get an idea of what I'm aiming for. But we've mainly followed the instructions. For those that came late, this is the Makerss monthly subscription kit. And this, for the month of August, it is a panda. So you get all the materials, that's the word. You get all the materials you need for this. In your first box, I believe you're going to get the needle you need for this. So you should get everything you need for your first needle felting project. And they're all they're fun. The instructions definitely have worked every month. I have an overflowing shelf full of things we've made. And everything has worked to be something cute that I think any level of creator can have a go at. So not sponsored, but I just like them. They're good kits, and it's a lovely community as well. Yeah, but I think this is about where we're going to leave him for this week, and next week we'll be back onto sorting out his head, doing his ears, doing the facial features. We'll just make it. Pandas are so easy to make good with just their big black eyes, big black ears, black nose, and then you're like, oh yeah, that's totally a panda. I mean, takes 2 minutes to make him look super pandery. But yeah, totally, that's what we'll work on next week. And because I've made him roughly about half, almost exactly about half, I did it perfect, almost exactly half the size the kit tells us to make, then I think his eyes will be oversized and hopefully large. But I will remind, taking the eyes, putting the eyes away in a safe place. So if next week I go, where's the eyes? Everyone can go, Pam, it's in your sewing box. Remember, it's in your sewing box. Okay, guys. I think that'll do us. I'll give you a couple of minutes as ever to say goodbye to each other, but thank you for hanging out. Yeah, as ever, share photos. Especially Everyone's a Makerss is the Facebook group for the makers where you can share your photos, because this is their kits. They put all the work into figuring out how to make these tutorials. I'm just here to stab along with you. Yeah, so make sure and share your photos there. You can also join Pam Duffy's Crafty Friends on Facebook and share your work there. I'd love to see it. As ever, all of you have an awesome week. I still because Etsy did a thing and I had to make lots of videos connected to that thing, what they did. I still haven't got round to it, but I can even show you. Tutorial coming out when I get a shot. I haven't done a pom-pom tutorial for ages, so this, if I can manage to edit it, it'll be up this week. If not, that there's a sneak peek of what's coming. A wrecking tutorial. And if you haven't tried making pom-pom animals, they are so much fun. It's just a tiny bit of needle felting skill and just winding wool, cutting, making a pom-pom. It's actually a really cool craft. Random, I know. But yes, that's something that should be coming up. So keep an eye on that. Please, I hate to do the beggy thing, but if you like my needle felting tutorials, YouTube is not very good at showing them out to people just now. So if you like it, please watch it, share it with your friends and everything. We'll share it with people who will be interested in it. So it gets a little bit of reach, because I really want to make some more tutorials, but it's difficult to do if they slow down my channel. So if you want them, if that's what you want, watch them, let me know. If you don't want them, then I'll cut back on the tutorials. Yeah, I'm not going to do a total, you must watch my things. If you don't like them, it's all good. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I've already said it, but I'll say it again. You guys have an awesome week. And if I don't see you before, hopefully Etsy does nothing dumb. If I don't see you before, I will see you next week. Thank you so much.